Do you want to learn effective ways to build relationships, generate sales, and grow your business from successful entrepreneurs, startups, and CEOs without listening to a long interview? If so, you've come to the right place. Gresham Harkless values your time and is ready to share with you precisely the information you're in search of. This is the IAM464 podcast.
Hello. This is Gresh from the IAM464 podcast. I have a very special guest on the show today. I have Kasra Khalili of Mintor. Kasra, it's awesome to have you on the show.
Hey, Gresh. Hey, happy to be here.
Super excited to have you on. And what I want to do is just read a little bit more about Kasra so you can hear about all the awesome things that he's doing. And Kasra is the CEO and co-founder of Mintor, a platform connecting entrepreneurs, matching them based on experiences, needs, and personality to build sustainable relationships. Kasra shares his experiences of networking in his upcoming book, Askholes, How to Give First and Network Later to Create Lifelong Valuable Relationships. Additionally, Kasra is the Baton Rouge chapter director of Startup Grind. He excels in the areas of operation, customer success, and strategy development, and of course, execution. Kasra, are you ready to speak to the IAM464 community?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. So I wanted to kick everything off and hear a little bit more about what I call your CEO story and what led you to get started with your business.
Sure. So my story is an interesting one. It really starts when my family immigrated here from Iran. So during that upbringing, I was exposed to a number of businesses that my parents had started, operated, and maybe had sold. Mm-hmm. So I always like to say that they doomed me from entrepreneurship. And by that, I mean the sheer experience of growing became the norm in which I looked at businesses operating. Mm-hmm. I saw how quickly they made decisions and they tested, new ideas. And when I went into my career role, which ultimately took a turn for occupational safety, health, and environment, I was a very successful safety professional, loved that role. However, day by day, when you really realize you can't, one decision has to go through 10 people, especially an old school company, it started to weigh on me. But really, my parents hustled for better or worse to get to where they were. For me, I really wanted to take a different route. And within the first 6 months of leaving college, I began starting to reach out to business owners, people in the tech community, trying to get connected. It was when I hit barrier after barrier with that Mintor came up. And by barrier, I mean, I searched LinkedIn. I went through, hit all the searches. I hit the connect button hundreds of times. Mm-hmm. I probably well over 1,000 messages. I went to events. I went to meetups. I went to the local SCORE chapter, which gives you access to mentoring. But what that really means is they give you a very, very old retired guy who gives you a scripted business plan and he says, fill this out. Don't get me wrong. So a lot of those things were okay, but I guess I got to a point where I thought, why does it have to be this hard? I ultimately found my, quote unquote mentor. And this guy was in California who really helped me turn my life around like 180 in terms of the way I looked at business and what I saw in myself. It was on a flight home where I just thought this has to be a better way to do this. Like and after searching and not finding anything that I thought was up to par, I approached my now co-founder and CTO, Scott Knight, with the idea of Mintor, a platform for entrepreneurs to connect based on matching. So that's where we are today. We've been at it for 3 years now, building for one. A couple tests later, we have our app coming out here at the end of the month. So we're excited to get there.
Nice. That's super exciting to hear. And I think that you're absolutely right. And it's funny that you say that because I think a lot of times people haven't started a business. So sometimes, they don't necessarily know what, I guess, the normal of it is, but you having had your parents and seen them work and see them hustle, as you said, you kind of know exactly what that experience is like. And not only that, but it seems like you're also helping out so many other people, because I think at the heart of it, as entrepreneurs, you usually see that there's a problem. So you see that there's an issue, and rather than just, complain about it, you actually decide, hey, I'm going to build this app, I'm going to build this platform, and do whatever it is that I felt like I was missing throughout my process.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope, that really at the heart of it, man, I was maybe even selfish. I met with people who said they had the experience and they didn't. Mm-hmm. I met with other people that said they had all this experience and had it and then wanted to sell me a service in the first 30 minutes.
All right.
And, also a point where I don't share, there's a lot of people here maybe that I've met that didn't share the same values as I had. They didn't have the same upbringing or background. I came here when I was 5, but still being an immigrant, I feel a different way. I see things in a different way. Right. And the same road is just not there for everyone. So the hope of it is people can be a little selfish too. They don't just have to take advice from anyone, and they don't have to give to anyone either. I think we really just want to open the door for people to connect with clarity. How many times do you send a connection request on LinkedIn and hope they message back. Then after you hope message back, how do I say this in a way where I'm not trying to sell, I'm just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
Even if you do that, the chance of success is really up in the air. There's no knowing what the other person is thinking.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And I love that phrase, connect with clarity, because I think you're absolutely right. And I think that a lot of times we feel like sometimes, especially when we're getting started, I think, when you get somebody's success or get somebody's advice, you think you have to take it, but you're absolutely right, where it's not necessarily maybe the best advice for one, what you're doing, or two, where you want to take, your business or your venture, and being able to kind of siphon through that and not feel kind of bad about being selfish, because I think a lot of times you have to do that in order to be successful.
Absolutely. And building a relationship is in there too. And I hate to continue on, but taking advice from 10 people is like reading 10 different blogs. It's a one-time thing. Just saying this to you, none of the people that I connected with, that early stage before I met the guy I did in California wanted to have another conversation with me. Like in the beginning, I didn't say, have all these problems, help me. I said, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm interested in. He would do the same. Let's see where we can help each other. And clearly he knows where I need help, but identifying where I could give him value long-term, like that has been one of the most successful relationships I've ever had, and I will never let it go,
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You have to definitely cherish those relationships, because that's what success ends up being, the people that you are able to build those sustainable and strong relationships with. So I know you touched on it a little bit. I wanted to hear a little bit more about Mintor, of course, about your book as well. So you could take me through both of those things.
Absolutely. So what Mintor is a match-based platform for entrepreneurs to network with each other. And they're matched based on their experience, needs, and personality. The goal behind Mintor is to take away the search times, take away the messages in trying to phrase it in different ways, and get people to meet as quickly as possible in order to build, successful relationships. For us, for someone that gets into Mintor, it's entrepreneur focused at the moment. So the topics of connection around there are marketing, sales, design, development, things of that nature. When you get on, what the platform does for you is takes you to a narrow view of people who not only meet your experience that you're looking for, but also what we've done is made it both ways, where I would also be able to see what I can give to you based on the experiences that I've identified for myself. More times than not, there is this image around mentorship or giving, that you just have this really experienced person who has all this knowledge, and whoever you are, you gotta be really, really grateful that they're willing to give you 5 minutes. And for me, I'm like, okay, that 5 minutes, I can listen to them online or their next talk. And you have to be able to build some sort of relationship. What we've realized in developing mentors, that we used to have these labels. We used to have mentor-mentee labels. During our first test, we had 4 times as many mentors than mentees. We were like, what? We could not understand what was going on. So what we found out was mentors wanted mentors. Mentees wanted mentees. People want to connect for a variety of reasons. And it's not just these people have a bunch of experience and these people that are grateful and we're giving them the opportunity to learn. Like, no. Both of those people can intersect their experiences and needs, and really, like we talked about, network and connect with clarity and intention. So the book, you mentioned the book. So the book is almost a spin-off of Mintor for me, I guess. Being in this space now 3 years, I've gotten to the point where I've really amassed so much knowledge in the networking space, in the give first mentality of, providing value and just giving and giving. And that comes back tenfold. That's really where the foundation of it is. It's based on stories of successful entrepreneurs, CEOs, creatives that have networked through giving first, that go to events and have a strategy, that are so targeted in the way that they've built the network around them and the way that they let people in. Those are the kind of stories that I tell, and I try to help people get over the hump of, showing up to an event and not knowing what to do and hoping they meet the right person, or really, the whole LinkedIn dilemma of adding people and what does it really lead to? So Askholes is really about that. It's about opening up. It's about networking in a different way. And I'm excited. That really comes out. That comes out in April 2020 is the published date. So we're excited to get that out.
Yeah. And like I told you offline, that's an awesome name. And I love obviously the awesome, purpose behind everything that you're doing, because I think you bring up a very valid point that kind of like there's an old school mentality of having somebody with all this experience and expertise. And then you have somebody that is not as experienced and they ask them to be, questions as a mentor or to be a mentor so that they can learn things from them. But it kind of doesn't take into account that a lot of times how you build those truly strong relationships is giving from both aspects, and one having a certain level of expertise and maybe giving to a person in a different way, and understanding that it's kind of like a two-way street. And I think that what you're building and what you guys have with Mentor is definitely awesome that you guys are doing.
I appreciate it. And on that note, I met someone here, and interestingly enough, sometimes it's values you don't really know or understand. I met someone here in New Orleans who is mentoring and has joined the advisory board of a local startup simply to learn about the hotel space. He goes, I'll give you all of my knowledge, but he said, I have never worked with anyone in the hotel space, a startup associated with hotels, none of that. The only thing I do is book hotels. So just out of his own curiosity, he was willing to give back. Now, how many people know that about him? I don't know, but so many of these people are willing to give for more reasons than we would think.
Exactly. Yeah. And sometimes you have to have like those questions that you guys have to help uncover exactly what, why a person is, looking for a mentor or mentee and what exactly they're hoping to get out of it. So I think that helps out a ton.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I wanted to ask you for what I call your secret sauce, and it could be for you personally or for your organization, but what do you feel kind of sets you apart and makes you unique?
Oh, me personally, resiliency.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone saw the things that me, and I know a lot of entrepreneurs who go through, you would think, you must be crazy. Like, why are you still doing this? Why haven't you given up yet? So resiliency for me, man, we're on our, I'd like to call third pivot. Every day we're something is changing and we are just adapting like hell. And that has helped us a lot. So the secret sauce of the platform Mentor, it's the matching.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see as well too. So I wanted to switch gears a little bit, and I wanted to ask you for what I call a CEO hack. So this could be like an app, a book, or a habit that you have, but what's something that makes you more effective and efficient?
So habits, I think, let's start with there. Habits for me are two things, meditation and prioritization. And I credit the meditation to my coach. I'm a CEO. I like to think of myself as, smart, intelligent, really, I know it all, but I just don't. So I have a coach that I work with weekly. Meditation is really just, it sets me in the right mood daily. It's become a non-negotiable thing.
So now I wanted to ask you my absolute favorite question, Kasra. This is the definition of what it means to be a CEO. And we're hoping to have different quote unquote CEOs on the show. So Kasra, what does being a CEO mean to you?
It means that I'm the catalyst, not the source of the company's success. And I ensure the alignment of the values and vision. Maybe now I make a lot of decisions and maybe now I come up with ideas, but as you grow, I've seen it in businesses and I've seen it in ones that I help to run as well, as the people around you are going to be the source of it. You need to be the catalyst that helps all of those great things come out. And the second part, you ensure that the alignment of the values and vision is because it's easy to get off center. It's easy to start, finding ways, to cut corners that don't align with who you say you are or how you make your company perceived to be, who your company is perceived to be. So really those things for me, among everything else,
Yeah, that makes perfect sense and kind of touches on that idea of especially being a leader. And a lot of times, being a leader is not necessarily doing everything. And I think, going back to kind of like the E-myth where you get stuck in that technician, you're doing all those things. Instead, you're supposed to be the person that kind of empowers the people that are on your team to be successful. And rather than, being that source, you are the catalyst, as you said, and you're actually sparking the greatness that's within the people that are on your team.
Yeah. And you talk about Ripple, how we always talk about failure and being okay with failure, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it can be easy for, people around you to come up with one or two ideas. They have to be like, one thing to set is like, it's let them know, hey, you're gonna have to bring me 50 and I'm gonna knock them all down before one gets put up. Because especially in a startup mentality, everyone around you needs to be okay with failure just as much as you. Because what's gonna happen is someone is sitting there at their desk with an amazing idea. And because, you came off the wrong way or you hadn't set up a system in which those ideas are coming up, that idea will never see the light of day. And that may have been the one, 6 months down the line, that person's sitting in that meeting where it's being brought up and goes, oh, I thought about that one, and maybe I should have said something, but they never will. But it's, that same mentality has to be rippled down.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes back to kind of like that culture that you have to create. And I think I'm really big into, setting expectations. So you set that expectation, just like you said, you say, hey, team, hey, we're just going to come out with as many ideas as possible. Understand that we're not going to do everything, but I want you to just generate as many ideas as possible. When you set that expectation, I think it helps that if you go to, the CEOs or you go to whoever's in charge, their office and say, hey, this is idea. And they say, no, that's not the best fit. They're not like, okay, well, I'm never going to give you an idea ever again. They understand that it's part of the process.
Yeah. Hey, that's the thing I am the most excited about and the most fearful of is the culture of the company that we're building. And I say fearful, I'm excited obviously because you get to build it in your eyes, but I'm fearful because it's so, fragile.
Yeah.
It's not like a product. Somebody can give you feedback really quick and you just change the button to blue and you used to be green. It's not like that, so it's something we think about a lot. And, just a vulnerability moment from the CEOs that's something we fear. I fear personally that if I'm not able to do that, I won't be successful because everything else can be adjusted, and I'm okay with those, but it's definitely a tough, one of the toughest parts of the company.
Yeah, absolutely. I think anytime that, like I usually say, you peel back the onion of a business, you realize it's made up of people, and that people are, like you said, it can be very fragile in the sense that you can do something or not do something, and it can affect, the overall culture as a whole. So you kind of have to be, understand it's a great responsibility, to be a CEO, to have the opportunity to lead people. And I think we all have to be kind of aware of that. So I appreciate that definition, Kasra, and that perspective. I appreciate your time even more. What I want to do is pass you the mic, so to speak, just to see if there's anything additional you want to let our readers and listeners know. And then, of course, how best they can get a copy of the book when it comes out. And, of course, download the app and the platform.
Of course. Hey, thank you for having me on. I'll leave with, the fact that Mintor is coming out of here at the end of the month. What they can do is you can reach out to me personally at kkhalili at mintor.co. And you can also visit our site, mintor.co. If you want to leave your information, and we'll be in touch for the upcoming launch. It's coming out this fall, so we're really excited to get everybody's hands. So that's about it. The book itself, follow me on LinkedIn. You'll get some information there.
Awesome. We'll have those links in the show notes just so that you can download the app and also get a copy of the book and follow up with you as well. So thank you so much again, my friend, and I hope you have a phenomenal rest of the day.
Thank you for listening to the I Am CEO podcast powered by Blue 16 Media. Tune in next time and visit us at IAM464.co. I Am CEO is not just a phrase, it's a community. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and everywhere you listen to podcasts. Subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating. Grab CEO gear at www.ceogear.co. This has been the I Am CEO podcast with Gresham Harkless. Thank you for listening.